Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to the Fly With Us podcast. This podcast is bringing the art of conversation, self love, self care, mental health care and protection, life lessons, love lessons, and everything in between. Today, we're going to continue our hip hop series with the whole show about hip hop appreciation. I'm your girl, Lady Bounce.
And I am Picket Fence. Today's Mindfulness Minute. Hip hop has meant so much to us for so many reasons. For some of us, it has been with us our whole lives. It has been a friend in our time of need. It has been our wake up motivation in the morning. It has been our teacher, a revealer of history. It has been a museum to those who don't have access to one. Hip hop to us has been a Hip hop has helped us create new instruments, new fashion, new language, and has become a global phenomenon that shapes the world that we live in today. Today, we mindfully reflect on you and take time to say we used to and still do love you. Word up.
Word. Oh, that was incredible. All
Mm.
right, so let's get into it. As you two lovers of hip hop, who wants to go first? First, the question is, what is hip hop to you? So, whoever wants to go first.
I'll let you take that, Jerry. I'll let you take it.
Okay, hip hop to me is just a way. It's a culture. It's a historical culture that should be um, more notified to the audience. Like should be almost near, in history books. I think so. That's how special that I think it is. It's it's made, the I say the black community which created it. It made them evolve, and instead of just rhyming, we evolved to being business partners and entrepreneurs and stuff. So it's helped us to grow. So I think it's real important. It's a real important culture.
Word up. I would say hip hop to me is uh, a voice of the people that have been silenced. It is taking nothing and making something extremely powerful. If you look at hip hop in its conception, 1973, first recognized hip hop party thrown by Kool Herc, um, was a fundraiser for his sister's school clothes. And he took elements from their homeland, which they're island people from Jamaica, um, and had techniques of turning turntables into their own instrument. He had the b-boys and b-girls there, the graph artists there, and all of these elements were just like how the earth was formed, and certain elements come together and form something powerful. If you look at New York in the early 70s, it looked like bombs had gone off in New York in that era of New York. And people who were already disenfranchised before then, took it upon themselves with their creative minds to create this thing that has become powerful to the whole world. And hip hop to me, like I said in the Mindfulness Minute, it's been a teacher to us. It's been a friend to us. It's been inspiration to us. It's helps a lot of us keep our sanity.
That part.
Word, word up.
So for me, hip hop has been a lot of things. Hip hop has been an introduction to a world of black culture that I didn't necessarily grow up with. It was a lifeline at a lot of times. It has been my refuge, my safe haven. I have to have music in my everyday, hip hop especially. When it's like it, I just feel like no other musical genre encompasses all your feelings the way hip hop does. You can be angry, you could be sad, you could be like in a romantic type of situation, and hip hop does all of that. Hip hop music, and then of course when it comes to the culture itself, the five elements, the six elements, because we always leave out the one, but the fashion, the b-boying. I love watching like step shows and b-boys because they kind of mimic each other. I love a good step show with a good frat or a sorority b-boying is like the same thing. You just sit back and watch and go, wow, all the amazing things that the human body can do, and like, why can't I do that? But I'm gonna get there one day maybe. And now to like b-boying being now like an Olympic sport, like that is dope. I could have never imagined that when I was little and my mom was yelling at me from the kitchen talking about turn off that mess in her house and we ain't gonna listen to that blasphemy on Sunday and stuff like that. So to see hip-hop culture come to where it is now, it is amazing. It's no longer just our culture, and sometimes that's good and bad. It's everybody's culture.
Yeah, I think that like I said, it's a global thing. I mean, you can't go anywhere without seeing hip hop nowadays. Hip hop is everywhere. It's in not only in movies, it's in commercials, it's in advertisement. Everywhere you go, hip hop has engulfed the world. I think the only problem may be is who's controlling this rolling ball now. I think that in some aspects it has spun out of control. When we're talking about the founders that created hip hop, and not just thinking about they always talk about the Godfathers, talk about the people that embodied hip hop in its starting years. None of those people have power over it, or were able to use the power of hip hop to set themselves off better. Very few. Some of them have, but we see that hip hop is like a big giant corporate thing now, and I think a lot of times it gets away from the essence. I've talked about it before. It's like in the early stages of hip hop, all of those elements were basically fused together, and now they're fragmented. Like you talk about b-boy and being in the Olympics. For a while, if you talk to the average person, they don't even realize that b-boying and breakdancing is still going on, and it has always continued going. It just fragmented away from itself. Excuse me. Same thing with DJing. A lot of times you see rap shows and there'll be a DJ there, but he's not really cutting it up and cutting and scratching and mixing right there on stage like back in the day. He's just basically pushing buttons. Not that anything is wrong with that if that's what you do, but it seems like the DJing, it fragmented off. And you had these competitions like the DMC competitions and competitions in the Scribble Jam. And it kind of went on its own fragment. And then, of course, rap being the verbal aspect of hip hop is kind of like when people think about hip hop, that's what they're just thinking about is hip hop, is this rapping, is hip hop. So I think that that's the thing that is lost in the artist, that all these fragmented pieces aren't being used together. It's like shards of the Dark Crystal. You put that shard back together and it could really be as powerful as it was in its own. Not that hip hop isn't powerful now. I just think it is not as empowering as it is powerful.
Right.
That was powerful. I was just like, so not to get off in that too much, but why do you think it is that we don't that the people who started it have like lost control of it? Like, why I know they didn't willingly give it up, but like what happened? Like, where was the switch that we started it, we cultivated, and then we lost control?
From my opinion, I just looking at it, I would think that it's because the creators and the starters and the people who were living hip hop culture in the beginning were just doing that. They were living it. I don't think that the intention was necessarily make money off of the culture. Now, if you were a rapper, you might have wanted to, be a superstar at one time. Same thing with a DJ. You might want to be the DJ at a lot of parties. But I think that the culture itself, I don't think that anybody in the beginning stages said, yo, this culture should be a business. Because most people don't sell their, I don't know, I wouldn't say most people don't sell their cultures a bit. I think that most cultures are able to figure out the ways to make money off of their culture. But I think what has happened is that someone else has seen the culture and has come and decided to make money off of it. So that's how things started getting fragmented off.
The Gemini, what do you think?
pretty much similar. You know, once it's a culture, and then you know, the Hollywood comes in and says, "Oh, you know," puts the money as the bait, and basically sometimes the roots are, let's say, they'll have to switch, you know, for the roots or the money. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Another thing is, I think because of that, so the younger generation, some of them got distracted and, you know, went astray towards the money, you know, and so that trickled down, you know, to it getting all mixed up, and
Yeah,
basically that's what I think of it, though.
I
I
also
agree.
think, yeah, I also think that hip hop is just now being at a stage where people are starting to teach hip hop as like
Mm.
basic like a genre. Like there's a jazz appreciation and classical appreciation. Hip hop is just now getting to the stage where people are starting to have that in different universities and things like that. And I think that, you know, of music of old, we had our parents that were kind of teachers and letting us explore and see music. Like our parents played music for us. And
Right.
Mhm.
and I think this generation, if they're being playing music, they're being played the worst aspects of music. And you know, and it's not a lesson in the music off rip. I mean, like I said in the intro, hip hop at one point in time, the the rhyme was the message. The rhyme was the education. The rhyme was history. The rhyme was math and science. You have to mathematically put these words in a certain amount of space. Um, and you know, and they were teaching a history that most people didn't have. You know, like, you know, New York had the 5% population. They had, of course, the Nation of Islam was there, and in the places like, you know, little small town Huber Heights, Ohio, or little even Dayton, Ohio in the '80s, you didn't see a large Muslim population. You didn't see you might live in an area where you don't see a diverse cultural amount of people. So hip hop was able to educate the world on our experiences, um, and history. It was history like let's just jump on into it. We see all the stuff that Kyrie and Kanye are going in through now. Now, there's some stuff that is true in what both of them are saying. And it's history that a lot of people don't want to talk about. And before hip hop was a global phenomenon, you used to be able to get these messages on the underground. And you could go explore these books. There's hundreds and thousands of books on African American history and African history that you will never learn in school. But these songs sent us to go find the information.
Mhm.
And Kyrie and Kanye are part of hip hop culture, and they've heard blips and blaps of these songs. Some of them probably heard these songs full and go. Now these are two guys that are kind of, well, Kanye's in his 40s, but Kyrie is still a young brother. And if you look at hip hop in the late '90s, the message changed. So he wasn't getting that message. But now he's getting to an age where he's traveling the world. And like he said, he had time off during COVID to sit down and read and watch stuff, the information that he probably didn't even know was out there. And when you get blasted so late in life with this information, it can be confusing and it can be hard to take it all in so quickly. I still don't think that he did anything wrong. What we should be looking at it as a way to open the conversation about history, real history that you don't learn in this world. And instead of just trying to cut him out of the world and everything, it should be time that we start having real conversations. And I think that it's one reason that hip hop was dismantled, because we were able to have those conversations just by listening to what we were being taught, and we could go resource. But now this is pre-internet. Internet's good and bad. Yes, we can share this information on the internet, but it's always, because you're able to access it, there's going to be somebody trying to stop it too.
Mhm.
You know, hip hop was the underground railroad of information at one point in time.
Mhm.
And we can still use that. And also, as even non-people of color, people of all over the world, it's time that we start having these open conversations about not history, but our story completely. All of our story. None of them should be smited. Everybody has, every culture in this world has a story to tell, and we use religion as a way to diminish other people's culture. And it's time to have that conversation.
Wow. I mean, that was so deep. I'm like, I feel like, yeah. I mean, I definitely agree that the conversations need to be had. And like you said, once upon a time, music was our information superhighway. It was straight from their lips to our ears, which is when I was saying earlier, hip hop introduced me to a sector of black culture that I didn't grow up with. So while we were quote unquote poor, I wasn't as poor as, like, I didn't have bums living in my apartment building. In fact, I've never lived in an apartment building until I moved in with friends. So, I didn't have like tenements and, people pissing in the stairways and stuff like that. Like I heard about in these songs. I didn't have a bunch of drug dealers in my neighborhood. While I did grow up poor, I wasn't poor like that, or I wasn't disadvantaged like that. So listening to hip hop music and finding out how other black people lived, it was really kind of eye opening, because it was something that I had never experienced before. And through the music, I got to get like that snapshot in that window and go, wow, like this is real. And before, hip hop got into, well, before it changed to just being rap music, where now we just rap about anything. We capping in songs all day long. You ain't got all the best chicks, you ain't got all the best rides, you ain't smoking the best weed. But hip hop at its base, when it started, really gave me a window into how another sector of black people lived, or black culture. And it was really awesome in a lot of ways, and then in some ways it kind of made me feel bad and made me feel like I was privileged because I didn't know that kind of a lifestyle. But having the music to introduce me to it was like, wow. And then having the music introduce me to, doing my research about black history icons that I didn't learn about in school because the kind of school that I went to, or I didn't learn about in my household because we just didn't have those kinds of conversations sometimes. So hip hop was definitely an information superhighway. It was, as Pickett said, the underground railroad of information, which was, it was real dope. And it pains me sometimes to see what has happened to it, looking at it now. Now there are lots of hip hop artists out there that are still doing their thing, still teaching, still reaching, but they're just being drowned out by the masses of mumble rap that ain't talking about nothing, that doesn't mean any upliftment to anybody but their their own selves, their own pockets. And that makes it for me kind of disheartening. However, we're talking about appreciating hip hop, so let's appreciate it for what it is. And it is all of those things,
Yeah,
and
that's
like
what I was gonna say. Not to cut you off, but that's what I was gonna say. We don't need to get rid of mumble rap. We don't need to get rid of this whatever that's out there now. What we need to do is have balance. What we need to have is have balance. I need to hear the Migos or whatever they call, and then I need to hear Mos Def after that. I need to hear whatever trap dude is playing, and then I need to hear Joey Badass after that. We need balance. If you look at rap in the 80s, 90s, and when it came to TV, Rap City, you had all of those videos. You had NWA, but you still got De La Soul too. And right now you have one song on the radio, just one long song all day. And that's one of the problems. albums. But like you said, let's get to appreciate. So let's talk about hip hop as a sound, production. Who are some of your favorite producers of hip hop music?
Go ahead, Gemini. You take that one.
Ooh, okay. I had to narrow it down, but my ultimate favorite is DJ Quick. DJ Quick is his sound is like he's got the right sound, and many people compared him to Dr. Dre. I prefer him over Dr. Dre. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I know it might be crazy to some people, but not only that, it's like he stands behind his sound, and he has, when he speaks on it, it's like he knows what he's doing. It's not just playing instruments just to be playing it. There's a science behind it. So that's what I like. I like Jay Dilla. I always love Jay Dilla. Eric Sermon, DJ Premier. It's all, I could go a long list, but that's just basically like a brief list of producers in my book.
So how about you, Lady Bounce? Who are some of your favorite producers?
Well, definitely DJ Premier. I think RZA gets slept on a lot as a producer. Like, he was a dope rapper, but he kind of gets slept on, as a producer. So definitely got to give him props. I know he's problematic, and we on the cusp of canceling. We don't know if we're gonna cancel, but Kanye, as a producer, you have to give him his props. Of course, Dr. Dre. Jay Dilla, I got into him a little bit later in my hip hop studies. So while I'll put him on the list, I don't put him that high because I'm still digging into him as a producer and some of his his music and stuff. Definitely love High Tech. I think he's real dope. He kind of gets slept on. He doesn't get mentioned a lot. I feel like we mentioned, when we talk about producers, it's like the same 3 or 4 people that are always out there, to be seen. I think my least favorite producer is probably DJ Khaled, just because he's annoying and I can't figure out what he does exactly besides scream his name on the track. I think Puffy was a good producer. He had the mindset and the machine behind him. And again, as an artist, he was not that sweet, but as a producer, the artists that he produced before his labels all went defunct, he was definitely pretty dope on the tracks. I'm trying to think. I think that might be it. For me, I mean, it's far as people that I can name off the top. What about you, Star Pickett?
So for me, I would definitely say Dilla. Dilla is a mastermind when it comes to chopping samples. He does it like no one else does. And this is no particularity either. Large Professor. I love Large Professor because he's like a fundamentalist, like when it comes to hip hop sound. He doesn't really do a lot of chopping. He finds great loops and adds fat drums to them. And sometimes you just like it just like that, just a fat loop, and just add those nasty drums to it. Pete Rock, because besides hip hop, jazz is my favorite genre, and Pete Rock just laces them jazz chops. Next will be Q-Tip. I don't think we talk about Q-Tip as much as we should when it comes to production. He always put Tribe's name on the albums, but he was the production force of A Tribe Called Quest. So Q-Tip, he just doesn't get talked about enough. As far as his production, he is an ill producer.
I got a question, Jay, for you. Do you think Q-Tip was like the father of Jay Dilla? like in
Oh.
production?
I wouldn't say the father. I would say maybe one of his co-fatherings, because Pete Rock was Dilla's favorite producer. But I think that he was very influenced by Tribe Sound too, and as well as Large Professor Sound too. Um, and I think at one point in time, Q-Tip, Large Professor, and Pete Rock were supposed to do an album together at one time. I know it was Pete Rock. No, I know it was Q-Tip and Large Professor, but I think Pete Rock too. So yeah, I mean, Questlove always tells this great story about Dilla trying to chop up this same thing that Pete Rock chopped up. And he worked on it for hours and hours to the point where he's like, yo, I got to catch my plane. So Dilla takes him to the airport. By the time he gets back to Philly on his machine, Dilla's, hollering like, I did it. Check it out. I got the chops right. I got them the way I wanted them to be. And then he was like, and so he let him hear it. And he was like, yo, I can't wait to tell Pete Rock about this. He's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that at all. I didn't do it to show him up. I don't think I was trying to show him up. He inspires me, and I wanted to see if I was able to do it. So, I mean, yeah, so I say he had, Q-Tip, Pete Rock, Large Professor, and even Prince Paul. Because Prince Paul doesn't get talked about a lot as being one of the illest producers, the ones that basically got De La to where they were in their beginning stages. So yes, I mean, you could go on and on and on about production, but those are probably some of my favorites. Of course, like I said, Dilla, Large Professor, Q-Tip, and Pete Rock will be like some of my favorites. And I'm saying that they're the best. They're some of my favorites. I also like Premier. He would fill out the 5 slot if I was only picking 5.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about your least favorite producer. What producer out there is just trash, should never pick up a beat machine, should never be on a track, just stop?
Well, I wouldn't say they shouldn't do it, should never do it, it's just to stop, but I never liked Swiss Beats production. I never thought that he was a great producer, ever. I never thought his production was good. I thought the stuff that he did for DMX, it fit for DMX. I think this because DMX is DMX, and he probably could do anything on anything. Like you always see that meme with him doing like some Christmas song or something, and, and he's just DMX. So, but I never thought Swiss Beats production was great. Sorry.
All right, the Gemini, what you got?
My least favorite producer, or least producer that I don't like. I don't think I have like a pinpoint name. It's just the producers that like just think that the triple time hi-hat and you just throw a bunch of noise together. And I'm not saying like, because some trap music is good. It's very good. It's like great, but like you got that. There are people that they just put stuff together. So I can't name a name, but I mean I don't really care for like you said DJ Khaled and I don't really care for Puffy at all either. So
yeah, DJ Khaled. I'm still trying to figure out what do you do? Like I don't know.
Like if I'm more, like I like the hands-on stuff. So if you're hands-on, and I don't like to tell somebody to do, because I'll be wanting to do when if I produce or whatever, if I make a beat, I want to do it myself rather than I can convert it better than you can. I can't just talk to you and say that. But I'm just that type of person. But if they're just back there telling somebody to do something, then I mean some of them are good at doing that, but like Puffy, I can't. He's always sampling too. Like he just, especially like back in the 90s, you was hearing you knew it was Puffy because he sampled something big or something.
Yes.
Along with this soft voice at the beginning
he
of
even
it.
said it. When he said like take hits from the 80s, don't it sound so crazy? So yeah.
Right. But yeah, that's. I really don't have a name. It's just the people that don't. The people that don't, put effort into their production.
Okay. So Kuda Mac just joined us in the comments and he said Dame Grease was a better producer than Swiss Beats. So either one of y'all want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Swiss Beats was good at all. Kuda Mac, check your messages and come on and click on and join in the conversation live with us. But yeah,
he also said hopefully he's not on the least favorite producer list. Ha ha ha.
Definitely not. I cannot wait until you hear what he and Kuda Mac have put together on this next probably few projects. We've got so many joints that we recorded over the last year. I mean, the Gemini's on the album, so he's peeped some of the songs on there. So we really been cooking, and with Cooley behind the boards, I cannot wait till people hear it. And it's the thing, like if you heard Flight from Chicago, this new album you can hear how Kuda Mac has elevated on the production. So definitely cannot be on the least favorite list. And I think people really gonna be starting to talk about Kuda Mac's production, and with this new album. Oh, look who joined a part of Audra D, who's also on the album, and you should hear her over this Kuda Mac production. For those that when you get a chance to hear her on this Kuda Mac production, like I said, us plus Kuda Mac on beats, it sounds really dope. So Kuda Mac, you could never be on that list of least favorite producers.
How y'all doing?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, we good.
Good.
So we're just talking about our appreciation of hip hop here. Right now we talked about some of your favorite producers, and we're like now discussing some of the least favorite producers. And the Gemini said he had no real pinpoint. He had a style that he's kind of gotten irritated with production. For me, it was Swiss Beats. I never liked his production. I talked about he did great work with like DMX, but I think that's because DMX was DMX. But when you just listen to the track by itself, I wasn't fond of his production. It just wasn't my style of production that I like.
Okay. I can't think
of. So you have any favorite producers?
Any favorite producers?
Favorites. Definitely Dr. Dre.
Okay.
Kanye West. No one really gives Drake credit. I believe didn't he produce like all of his stuff?
I don't know. I've never really been a Drake fan, so I don't know if he's produced any of his music or not. I do think he's a better singer than a rapper, though. To me, I do think that.
You know what it is for me, though. I'm big on instrumentals, and it's the instrumentals for me. That's what it is. Right. It's the instrumentals for me, and just doing his own thing, like not trying to do everything that everybody else is doing. He just. I'm gonna do Drake. That's what I like about him.
Yeah, I kind of like the singy stuff. You could chill to some of his singy stuff.
You know why though? You know why I like him? Because LL Cool J. When I first heard LL Cool J, I Need Love. It to me said that's how you set the tone for your own creativity. It ain't always gotta be hardcore rap or it could be soft. It could be smooth. And I mean, that inspired me a long time ago. I can remember going down the street with my Walkman listening to that.
Yeah, I Need Love was a pivotal point for L, because when we all liked him because he was hard as hell, but when that I Need Love came, it's like, oh, okay. And then you seen the ladies like this, so like,
yeah.
It still had a hard beat to it though, but the melody and all that came in like kind of. So
yeah.
Well, there's a fun fact that I like to tell my students, because I know my hip hop history a little something. But one of the reasons why Biggie started making songs for the ladies is because he had a conversation with Tupac, and Tupac said you can come as hard as you want to on every album, but you got to have at least one or two songs for the ladies. And it wasn't until they had that conversation that Biggie put out the One More Chance, or he added the verse in Hypnotized where he was talking about, being with chicks and stuff. It came out of, them being friends, because Tupac, for as hard as he was, he had a bunch of anthems for the ladies too. Maybe not necessarily love songs, but he had Keep Your Head Up. He had Dear Mama.
Yeah.
So it was because of that Biggie was like, "You right. He's like, you'll sell more albums because the ladies are gonna get their men to buy it because they buying it." And I was like, wow, that's amazing. But because their friendship, got so ugly, we kind of forget the fact that they were actually friends at first and actually were helping each other out in their careers, because it ended so ugly as a result of, nonsense.
Yeah, I never knew that. I never knew that part.
So Kuda Mac said Madlib, Alchemist, Conductor Williams are his favorite producers right now.
Oh yeah, Alchemist is like pretty much running things right now when it comes to underground hip hop music. I mean, I think, what did he put, like 3 or 4 albums out in the last year under different rappers, and just like,
oh wow,
that Currency album is dope. The Earl Sweatshirt album is dope. The Bodie James is incredible. And like Kuda said, Conductor. You listen to that West Side Gun and that who else did he just do? This signed to Griselda. But that West Side Gun, the only thing I don't like, I kind of have to admit, I get tired of hearing Conductor, there's a problem. I kind of get irritated with that after a while, but the beats is incredible. So if you haven't heard of him, go check out that West Side Gun. I think he did some stuff for Bodie James too. Somebody else that he just did that I can slip in my mind. This recently came out, but yeah, Conductor is ill. And of course, Madlib did all of the Black Star album that some people have had a chance to hear, some people haven't because of the whole subscription thing. But if you saw Saturday Night Live last night, Madlib did both of those joints for Black Star. And of course, the Mad Villainy.
Okay, so you mentioned something that I want to touch on as we were talking about, DJ Khaled and Puffy and then Conductor. Do you want the producer to just produce the track and not be, not say his name? Because remember, like, even DJ Clue was like, DJ Clue all through the song, like, because that is annoying. So how much should the producer, put himself out there, like he did the track, and then what's overkill?
I think we need to get back to reading Cliff Notes. You know what I'm saying? And I was telling, my young homie Charlie Hustle this the other day, is that there needs to be a movement to move back to tangible goods. Get back to going to the record store. Get back into looking at those liner notes, looking at those covers. I used to love to open up and look at the ill pictures and see who produced it. Used to look for the P.O. box for the record company, and I'm send my demo to them, And also I think about how it's done too, because that Conductor, like I said, it gets kind of irritating hearing that through, in between the songs and stuff. But like sometimes you just hear like a quick little notion or whatever. I don't have any Kuda Mac beats or Cooley the Curator beats that you hear them say their names. I usually say their names on songs as much as possible, as it fits along with the song. Plus, like has been with the last album, this current album, it says Pickett and Kuda. It's a team effort. And I'm also working on an album with Cooley the Curator. It's gonna say Pickett and Cooley the Curator. So. I don't need the annoying sound to be going off throughout the whole album. I mean, even like Rick Ross, every verse he has, you got to hear that. I'm a Maybach, man. We know who you are now. Okay? We know who you are. I don't need to hear that. Plus, the song says so-and-so featuring Rick Ross. I don't need to hear that song.
Well, I'll say, like, I like the way Kwame does it. Because like in the beginning of the song, it's real quiet. Subtle. It's like Kwame made it. And then you don't hear it anymore the rest of the song. You just know that Kwame did it. Like, I'll take that. I definitely You know,
Exactly.
Suge Knight got on the Source Awards and was like, if you want a producer that ain't all in the video and all on the song, like I appreciate him saying that. Like, yes, please, thank you. Dr. D, you was laughing. What you think?
I mean, we could do without, like, like Picky was saying, like, just if you putting it on, putting it out there visually, like, you don't have to, it don't need to be said all the time.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so Kuda Mac says producers should be heard and not seen like me. LOL. Those tags can be overkill at times. The MC should be the forefront of the song. And as all of you are MCs, I'm sure you can all agree with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Consumer.
Yeah, like I said, I make sure that I mention, I'm big about bigging up people that I appreciate anyway, as far as musical and stuff like that. My crew, my team. If you rolling with me, you rolling in the golden chariot. We all going together on this ride.
Okay. All right, so let's get into the part let's get into the negative part a little bit. Aside from MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice, because I feel like that's too easy, who is in your trash pile as far as MCs?
Young MC. I never thought he was good.
You gonna stop hating on Young MC?
I'm sorry. I don't want to say. I'm not
classic.
I'm not gonna say he's trash. I'm trying to move away from saying people are trash. I just didn't enjoy his art. I didn't like Busta Rhymes. I used to go to the teenage clubs back in the day, the Odyssey and the Zoo, and the living room, and I hated when that song came on. I hated it. And then seeing the people like doing their little dances, like they couldn't really dance, but they be doing it anyway out on the floor. Like, turn that off. Let the B-boys get back out there doing something dope. But yeah, I didn't enjoy that. And it wasn't just because it was corny, because I liked Rapping Duke and that was corny. I just didn't enjoy Young MC.
All right, who else did you not enjoy?
I didn't enjoy Tone Loc either. Right there. I liked him on that cartoon that he was on, where he was the voiceover. But
right?
I knew they had familiarity because Young MC wrote that Tone Loc stuff. So I didn't enjoy either one of those.
That's
sorry. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, the Gemini, who's in your trash pile?
Ooh, in my trash pile, let's see. I know Pickett named older people, but I didn't like Nelly when he came out. That was like, but what I couldn't understand about him was his freestyles doper than how he rhymes. So I just didn't dig his music. I wasn't on that. So pretty much majority of the rappers, they got Lil on beginning of their names. Like little and young. But I mean, who else I didn't like? I didn't like that's pretty much I can pinpoint, just Nelly.
That's a surprise. I didn't enjoy Nelly's music either, but that was a surprise because I thought that was what they always post on Facebook, unpopular opinion. That was my unpopular opinion. I didn't. Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Who's in your trash pile?
I can't pinpoint no names, but like the newer, the babies, the littles, the whatever you want to, they come up with anything. Some of it is trash, and my kids be killing it like
it's everything. Like it's
the lyrics was trash.
Like you're the problem because you don't like it.
No, they ain't talking about nothing. There's no substance. It's nothing to it.
Nothing.
I mean, absolutely nothing. No message. No drinking 40s. And we with my niggas, bitches. What?
Yeah, and it don't even be a full sentence. Be like 40s streets.
Right. And I kept
and like, what? Wait a minute. What? What are you talking about?
Rakim, I remember Rakim saying, he said that the rappers nowadays sound like they're just doing choruses.
Yeah. Or the ad-libs. It's like the verse is the ad-libs.
They sound like they got Tourette's or something. They just saying random.
Yeah. But once again, I'll say, I think you need that, but you also need to be able to hear Mos Def. You also need, even Drake, you need to have all of it.
Yeah.
And I think that if you have all of it, some of that is going to go away. But now you're not giving real MCs a chance because they don't have any access to be played or access for people to hear them. So now it's just one song all day. It's the same song all day long. It's like, really? And I think that it's dumbed down kids. So they if they hear something real, they wouldn't even know it unless they get over flooded with it for a few years.
Right.
So Lady Bounce, who's in your trash list?
Unpopular opinion once again. I know y'all about to be mad at me. Roxanne Shante. I cannot stand her
We have
voice.
this talk all the time. She doesn't like her voice, she says.
I hate her voice. I even listening to her when we had XM in the car and listening to her show on the XM, I'd be like, man, can you just shut up and just play the music? Like, I don't want your intro, I don't want your happiness moment. Just shut up and just play the music. Like, it was awful. So Roxanne Shante definitely tops my trash pile.
Wow.
I think her voice is deadpan. I don't like her. I thought that it was dumb that she made the song about UTFO when they wasn't even talking about her. So I'd be like, yeah, I can't.
But she wasn't the only one. It was a billion Roxannes when that first came
that
out.
is what made it bad, because she started it, and then they all followed suit, and it was awful. All of the Roxannes could have sat down, except my sister. So they all could have just gone. Definitely all of these new rappers, every last one of them, like Ed O.G. said, when is hip hop gonna grow up? We got Young This, Little That, Young Muggs is pushing 40. Stop playing with yourself. So any of the new rappers, let me see. Man, there's a lot. Like, I didn't like the Skee-Lo dude, even though like I kind of liked the song, but the song was annoying. The I Wish song, that wasn't sweet to me.
That's why he had one song.
Right, that's why he had one song and he just kind of like faded out. So Kuda Mac says, oh, wait a minute, Kuda, you about to get fired.
Ooh,
Y'all sure this dude your favorite producer? Because wait till I put his comment up here. This dude gonna say 2 Chainz, J. Cole, Wale, and E40.
I was with you on the 2 Chainz.
J. Cole?
I was with you on the Wale. I'm even with you on the J. Cole because I find him very boring. But I fell all the way off the cliff when you said E40. E-Feezy. Not the E-Feezy.
He also said drill music. So
yeah,
like
I'm cool on the drill music. But J. Cole, Cooley's trying to convince me that he's gotten better. Cooley's been trying to convince me, like, listen, he's gotten a lot better. But I just, especially a lot of his earlier work, I found J. Cole to be kind of rather boring.
I love J. Cole.
2 Chainz was just a front to me. We all knew his story, and every time somebody was asking him about his story, he tried to deny it. Like, dude, you had a scholarship. not just the basketball, but an academic scholarship. Why you out here talking all this street stuff? Get out of here with that, man. So, Wale, I never got the hype of Wale either, so I'm with you, Kuda Mac. And I always thought it was so funny watching him and Blueprint beef on Twitter when that was going on. So yeah, I never got Wale. I never got into it. But Easy,
Come on, man.
I think you're gonna be getting a phone call from Cooley, Kuda Mac. You know that's Cooley's favorite rapper of all time. You might be getting a phone call.
Hey, so speaking of greatest rappers of all time, who wants to go first? Who's your GOATs? Who's in your top 5, top 10, top 20, whatever? When you pop it in and you vibing to hip hop, who's on your go-to list?
That's so hard because it's so hard because there's so many great MCs. But just somebody that I will always like listening to is my number one is Doom. I'm always going to big up Doom. All caps when you say his name. MF Doom is, to me, is the greatest rapper of all time.
Rest in peace.
But yeah, God bless the dead.
Where's my spoon so I can gag myself? Don't think.
Man, but in no other particular order, some MCs that I'll just run them off real quick that I love. God bless the dead. Sean Price is one of the illest MCs because you really believe he's gonna punch somebody in the face when you hear him rap or push somebody off the curb or something. He's like bully MCing. Sean Price, the Mighty Mos Def. You know, I didn't see him live in concert till what was that when we went to the Erykah Badu concert, like 2019, right before COVID. And dude can really. I mean, I always knew he could rap, but like put on a show. So Mos Def, people that they don't talk about enough is Redman. And then speaking of shows, I've never been to a live show, but I've seen him off on TV. Is Busta Rhymes. He's probably pound for pound the best MC. Maybe not the best lyricist, but MC with the total package. Because Doom wasn't a showman. Like Busta Rhymes is a showman. He is the full package. So yeah, those are some of my favorites. Doom, Mos Def, Sean Price, Busta Bus, Redman. And like I said, there's others, but those would just be ones that I can always go back and listen to. Who next?
Okay, I'll go.
I don't know. Go ahead, Gemini.
Let's see. It goes around. Like I like Fonte from Little Brother. I think Black Thought is a wonderful lyricist. Oh, yeah. He's a good lyricist. Like you said, Redman. I like Corrupt also.
I like Corrupt.
Like all time, I respect KRS-One. Common. But see, I think Bun B is a great lyricist too. Like he's awesome. Like I think he's probably one of the best. But I forgot about Andre 3000. Of course. Andre 3000. Forgot about
Of course.
Yeah. That's basically mine. I might picking, but it's a lot. It's a lot. That's my sum down list.
Audra D.
Yes. So some of my favorites. I love Nas, Jay-Z, Mos Def, Common. I ain't gonna forget about Foxy Brown. I love Foxy Brown.
Yeah, Foxy can rap.
Yeah, I love Foxy Brown. It's another one on the top of my thing. We just had it there too. Dang it, I forgot. That quick. I had it on my brain. Slick Rick. I love Slick Rick.
Storyteller.
Hey, Young World. Like, I love Slick Rick. I always have. I'm trying to think. I had him Tupac, Biggie. And it was another female rapper that was on my brain, y'all. How dare I? It was right there. Because I thought of her before I thought of Foxy Brown. Oh,
Remy
y'all.
Ma, Lil
Huh?
Kim. Let me
I
see.
love- I
Remy
like
Ma,
Lil'
Lil
Kim, but
Kim,
it wasn't
MC
Lil-
Light. I don't know. I was just thinking about female rappers.
Yeah. I love MC Light too. But it wasn't just after that. Dang it. It'll come back to me.
Newer artists.
Nah, she ain't that new. No. I just can't think. It's right there, but it's down there.
But speaking of Nas, have y'all heard that new Nas album yet?
I heard half of it. Sounds good.
Some
far.
of it. Yeah, some of it.
Yeah, I listened to it Friday when it came out. Yeah, Nas is back on this 1-2-1-2. He back on the square. Big up to Nas.
Yeah, I love Nas. That ether, and it just even his thought process. You know,
Yeah,
it's always a message. You know what I'm saying? He's always challenging you to think, like, you know what I'm saying, about what he's talking about. So Nas for sure. J. Cole, he's one of those. I took my son to see J. Cole when he was in high school. And the man put on a 2-hour show, y'all, that was phenomenal. Like, he sat down and had a conversation with us. Had the whole stadium quiet, silence, and dark, and put on a whole violins playing and shit. Dope. Telling y'all. Dope production. He puts a show on. And he talks about a lot of stuff too. A lot of stuff we go through. So
word up. So, Lady Bounce, who are some of your
Yes.
favorites?
Again, he's problematic. The old Kanye, not this new Kanye. Old Kanye, like college dropout, late registration Kanye. 808s and Heartbreak, and not so much Kanye, you know. The old Little Kim, back when Biggie was writing her rhymes and Biggie was, you know, putting his stamp of approval on everything that came out her mouth. She was much better back then, before all the surgeries and stuff. Busta Rhymes, definitely. ODB, Mos Def, Ludacris, and of course my husband, who never had a chance to be my husband, Heavy D. You know, may he rest in peace.
Yeah, God bless the dead.
I just knew that I was gonna go to like a Heavy D show, and somehow he was gonna see me in the dark and pluck me out of the nosebleed seats and say, "You are it, and you are everything I've been looking for," and we were gonna live happily ever after and run off into the sunset. And that didn't happen, but it's okay. I'm okay with it now. It took me a long time, you know, to be okay. I had to lick those wounds.
Yeah, a lot of people don't talk about Heavy D as much as they should. God bless the dead. Heavy D had bars, man. Heavy D had bars, and he was an overweight lover. He was an overweight lover.
Yes.
How could you not like an overweight lover?
All the ladies, like,
how could you not? Okay, how could you not? Which is why, you know, when I'm telling people at work about, like, Jay's been losing weight at work and he's lost like 55 pounds, and I'm mad about it. And they're like, "Why are you mad?" I'm like, "Because like he fit the description and now he doesn't. So what do you mean? Why am I mad? Like he fits my type. Ice Cube, Heavy D, those. I'm telling you, they was gonna see me and be like, "Yes, we gonna just."
Wait a minute, Ice Cube wasn't never fat.
He was. He wasn't as big as Heavy D, but he wasn't no skinny dude.
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness!
So Max says Scarface, Ghostface Killer, Nas, Conway the Machine, Kendrick Lamar, Rock Marcy, and Elzy are his favorites.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Go ahead, Audrey. You thought of your person?
Now?
Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn. Okay, yeah.
That's my girl.
Now, that's the one that was gonna come find me in the nosebleed seats, sweep me away, and we was gonna be like, la la la. I was a big Fuji fan, like from vocab on out.
That wasn't never gonna happen because y'all couldn't have been together. You're too punctual and she's not punctual. Y'all would have never made it.
Facts. Facts.
That would have lasted one day.
Facts.
Mm-mm. Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Y'all are
All
funny.
Hey.
So with appreciation of hip hop, do you remember the first hip hop album you bought? Anybody? And what was it?
Oh, because my dad was a DJ, so we bought all of, like, when the stuff came out, we just went and bought it. So no. But I remember my first hip hop concert that I went to, and that was, I know y'all gonna, I'm not turning in my black card, but it was MC Hammer, Oaktown 357, and like his whole crew. And when I say they put on a show, I was like, this is it. Even though people be like, they hate on Hammer now. Hammer was the man. He had his spot. I hate how they be doing my dude now. It's all messed up. But yeah, I remember my first hip hop concert. Don't remember my first hip hop album though.
Yeah, the
first one I ever bought on my own was Tupac's All Eyes on Me. I bought that double cassette and I spent my lunch money on it. And I just knew that my mom was not going to let me starve because I spent my lunch money. She said, well, I hope you can eat that tape because you ain't getting no more money from me. And sure enough, I starved for 2 weeks because I bought All Eyes on Me, but it was worth it.
It was worth it. That was a fire out, like that whole thing. The whole thing.
Like, I couldn't be the only one that didn't have it.
You should have got a dub. Who else?
What I can remember as a kid, one of the first tapes I had was an LL Cool J tape and MC Hammer.
Which LL tape, you know?
I can't remember, to be honest. It was so long ago.
Okay. For me, it was 2 12 inches. That I bought on my own was Steady Beat. The A side was Bring the Beat Back. B side was Cheating Girl. That might be vice versa. And Kumo D, Go See the Doctor. And I can't remember what the B side of that was, but they were in the same jacket. Because back then, rap was still kind of new, so Jive just used the same jackets for all their album covers. It was just like a baby blue with the little Jive diamonds all around. So, and I bought those two on the same day. First concert was Fresh Fest, was Fat Boys, Salt and Pepper, UTFO, and Dana Dang. And that's when I said I'm gonna be a rapper. We snuck to the back of the Hair Arena when they was getting on their bus, and Prince Marky D and Kool Roski shook my hand, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a rapper. I said it just like that. Yeah, I'm gonna be a rapper. I was already like rapping for fun in the back of the school bus stuff, but when I got that handshake, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a rapper.
Me, I don't remember the first hip hop album I bought, but I did receive a tape. It was a single of Biz Markie, and on the side A was a song called "Non-Stop Rapping," and then on the B side it was no. Yeah, "Non-Stop Rapping" was on the B side. Off the top of my head was on the A side. That was pretty dope. So
God bless the dead.
Right. And I don't know. Did you ask about first hip hop concert?
Yeah.
First hip hop concert. I'm a late one on this one because I didn't go to concerts when my high school. Yeah, I'm pretty late, but I went and saw who was it? I went and saw NW. Well, it wasn't NWA. It was basically I went and saw Ice Cube, DJ Quick, MCA, DOC was there. And who else was there? The rest of NWA, Yella, And
Okay.
and then another, I'm gonna put this out there too. I think I seen Crazy Tunes. I think it was before he passed. He was DJing that set, or he was DJing Cubes. I think it was DJ Cubes, or when Cube was performing, he was DJing. So
Okay. What was your first concert, Audrey?
Oh, y'all, I'm getting old. Shoot. Oh, I'm thinking it was Tupac. I can't remember who all came though. It was at the Memorial Hall when it was open.
Okay.
Y'all remember that concert?
I didn't go to that one, but I remember him coming today. Tupac came today a couple of times, actually. I know he came to Memorial Hall one time, and he came to, I think, Roosevelt at one time.
He might have been with oh gosh, what are they called?
Digital Underground.
Digital Underground, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I do remember them coming to Memorial Hall, yeah.
Yeah. It was nice.
Look,
Yeah,
Kuda
Memorial
Mack said-
Hall used to have some good shows.
They did. We
They
had
did.
my son graduated there, y'all. When I say that was in 2018, it was hot in there. They didn't have nothing going
Mm,
on.
Oh, they ain't updated
Right.
that building in years.
nah. That's a storage place now.
Basically. All right, so Kuda Mack said Dr. Dre, The Chronic, The Lynch Mob, and Crisscross were the first albums he ever bought. And then he
Okay.
said LOL.
Okay, I remember that Crisscross single. I think I was probably like a senior in high school when that came out. Junior or senior. Yeah, I remember that single. Then with their clothes on backwards on the cover.
Yep.
Yeah, that was classic. That jump,
I
yeah,
had
that jump was that was a banger. Jump was a banger.
Jump, I missed the bus. Yeah.
Yep, I missed the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I
Definitely.
gotta ask before we get out of here. I gotta ask the question that I ask everybody when it comes to this hip hop stuff: are Tupac and Biggie really the goats, or are they the goats because they are no longer with us, and you're not
I don't-
supposed to speak ill of the dead?
I don't think they're the ghosts because they're not with us. I think some people think that they loved them when they was here. I could see it more with Tupac because he had a catalog before he died. Biggie didn't have a catalog before. He had one album before he died. So I don't even know how he got ranked as like one of the ghosts. But neither of the two are even in my top 5. I don't think that they were the two best rappers. Even in their time, I don't think they were the two best rappers. But a lot of people thought Tupac was. And like I said, at least he had a catalog. Biggie didn't even have a catalog. He had one album. The second album came out after he died. So I just think a lot of people like him. I mean, I'm like closer to their age, and I saw a lot of great MCs before and after them. I mean, the three of us, me, Biggie, Tupac, and Rakim, grew up on Rakim. We had Rakim. We had Big Daddy Kane. And I don't think either one of them are better than either one of them. I don't think that either one of them are better than KRS-One. Now, one thing about the two of them, they both make better songs than KRS-One does. KRS-One is an MC. You go see him and enjoy the show because he puts on an incredible show. But he's never made like commercial songs except for, I mean, everybody likes My Philosophy and The Bridge Is Over, but his only really commercial song is The Rapture with, Step Into My World.
Right.
Right.
And I think that's one thing that Biggie got pushed Biggie because, like you said, that Conversation with Pop, you got to make some joints for the ladies. And that Big Pop, everybody loves that song. The video, slow motion, had all of our entertainers at the time in the video. You know what I mean? It was a sexy video. It looked like how you wanted to be at the club.
Right.
But just when it comes to like MC, I think there's a lot better than the two of them. But I understand Tupac nostalgia because, like I said, he had a catalog. And then when he came home from jail that last time, he stayed in the studio. A little known story that people don't know is like a lot of those All Eyes on Me songs were not really his songs. he was so busy in the studio, he was like listening to other people's stuff and was like, I'm taking this song, I'm taking that song. And because who he was, Suge was like, hey, I'm snatching this song off your album. It's gonna be on the Tupac album. Like the song with
Got my mom made up.
Corrupt.
Yeah,
got my mom made up. Yep.
Yeah, with Meth and Red. The joint with Meth and Red.
I heard that was gonna be
supposed to be on that was gonna be on the Dog Pound album.
Okay, I thought it was Rages. Okay.
No, it was supposed to be on the Dog Pound album, but Tupac heard it. He was like, "I'm taking that." So I mean, he stayed so busy, so he had a catalog. And even I remember when he first died, there was just albums coming out, all these different albums. He had albums with like the Boot Camp Click, and everybody was trying to get those songs bootleg line, but he stayed busy, so he did have the catalog, and I could see. And plus, his beginning message. He had a message that was really needed. I don't know. I guess he kind of just slipped off at the end. It's like somebody once said, after he played Bishop, he became Bishop and could not leave the character alone. And looking at his life after being Bishop, he was Bishop. He was Bishop. He's fighting people in the casino and doing all types of wild stuff. He became Bishop. And if you've seen any other actors, a lot of actors say that happens to them. What's his name that just died recently from The Wire? Said
Michael K. Williams.
Yeah, Michael K. Williams. He said a lot of times he couldn't fall out the character. He got in a lot of trouble a lot of times not being able to fall out of character. Lakeith said he had to go see therapists after 2 or 3 different movies he did. So I don't know, but like I said, at least he had a catalog, so I see why people like Pac. And like I said, that beginning message, to Apocalypse Now and Me Against the World,
Yeah, most definitely. For me, I wouldn't say necessarily they're the greatest, but definitely Biggie did, but Tupac, he made an impact. They definitely was one of the greatest rappers to make an impact in some type of way. They always had a message, especially Tupac always had a message, and he was so authentic. He wasn't afraid or ashamed to let himself, let you feel where he was at, what he was going through. He wasn't trying to create a picture. I've been doing this. How every rapper, they done sold drugs, they done did this, they done did that. He's really allowing you to tap into who he is, and poetically, for me, I got his book right here. Like, the man's work was just beyond himself, like thought-provoking, like beyond words. Like, just reading his stuff is like, wow, he was smart as hell. But you get that thug life, you know what I'm saying? Me Against the World, like that title by itself. I write by title. I create off the title. So to me, that says a lot. It's always, feel like we against the world. So it spoke to a lot of people. It spoke volumes. So yeah, great in that respect. Making that impact. Leaving that behind after he's gone.
Word up.
All right, so real quick, Kuda Mac said his first concert was Snoop Dogg and Do or Die in Crucial Conflict, and that was after Pac died. So there was a rumor in Chicago that Pac was coming back to be on that show. And then he said Pac was bigger than his music. Big was the most versatile MC I ever heard that mastered every style of rap at the time. So
I will give that to Biggie. Hold on. Pause on Cooley. I will give that to Biggie because, like I said, he knew how to make great songs. Like I said, I don't think he was a greater MC, but he knew how to make songs. And I mean, just like he said, that Bone and Biggie, I would have never expected Biggie to be do that Bone and Biggie song. Never. And he killed it.
He killed it.
Killed it.
He did.
Killed it. But go ahead, the Gemini.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think they're great MCs, lyricists, but they're like you said, Pickett. They're not even my top 10. They're in like pretty much everybody's top 10, but they're not in my top 5. I know I like Biggie. I lean more towards Biggie. I like his wordplay, but Pac, I like his it's the music that he's rapping behind. You know, his style, Pac, like you kind of, I'm not even down in Pac, you know, but you kind of know what he's gonna say on the next line, or by his same style, the style that he does. Like, I mean, you know how he is. Like you could tell the next word he's gonna say, or what he's gonna rhyme with, but he's still a good lyricist. But yeah, you asked about their death, and does it make them a more memorable rapper? I think so, but they're not my like favorite, but they're good MCs. That's what I say.
Yeah, like I take nothing away from either one of them, but I'm always careful when I'm listening to people have hip hop discussions, and that's the first thing they say. So I always just wonder, were they really that dope there at the top, or are they at the top because they died and we didn't get to see, a combination of their careers? We didn't get to see them, get old and kind of mature. Like, we don't know if either one of them would still be rapping now or what they would be talking about. But we had a discussion in my social studies class, and we were talking about current events and what event in their lifetime shaped them or shaped their parents. So we were talking about, the whole thing with Tupac and Biggie. And then I asked them, if Tupac and Biggie were both still alive, do you think we would have as many of these Lil This, Young Nat, this and that, would they have shut these dudes down? Or would these dudes still be here, calling them old heads, telling them to sit down like people are telling Jay-Z to sit down?
I think you could look at that a few different ways. Conspiracy theorists might say that that's the reason that they both are not here anymore. So that to pave the way for these little and youngs. Also, if they were here without being murdered, would they be big enough to defy the machine that pushes the stuff that's out there now anyway? So, I mean, that's kind of hard to speculate.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's, like we just said, there's still a lot of great rappers now, but they don't get heard of. They don't get talked about enough. So, I mean, that's kind of hard. It's a hard question. But what does everybody else think? What does everybody else think? What do you guys think about it?
I agree.
I agree too. I mean, you have people. I know that they, like when DMX and Ja Rule came out, they was like, "Oh, this is just another Pac," just, And then you hear Jay-Z, like you hear saying, "Oh, Big was here. Jay-Z wouldn't have been this big," but I agree with you, Pickett, though.
I think it was meant, like, it just was meant to be how it is. They gone. That there was their time. Their time was to shine at that moment, and to leave behind what they left behind. I don't think it would have been any other way, honestly. Two talented beings that they did what they supposed to do, and unfortunately, they gone.
Word up. God bless the dead.
All right, so last question, and so we wrap this up. And I know this is an ever-changing list, so if you had to pick right now, what's your top 5 favorite hip-hop songs ever? Which I know this changes from day to day, from moment to moment, depending on what mood you're in.
Right.
If you had to pick right this minute, what's your top 5 hip-hop joints that define hip-hop, that define you, that define an era? You set the parameters. What's your top 5?
All right. Thinking about it holistically, I'm gonna just throw out there, All You Can Eat by the Fat Boys.
Okay.
I told you about that handshake, and even before the handshake, my big brother used to call me and my boy Mark D. Fresh the Fat Boys because we was 2 fat little kids in Northland. Y'all always got snack cakes and stuff. Y'all the Fat Boys. That's what he used to say. We had our little Faygo Pops and little Debbie's every day. So All You Can Eat by the Fat Boys. The Scenario, Tribe Called Quest and Leaders of the New School. Busta Rhymes, Woo-Ha. Redman, Tonight's the Night. And all time, number 5, Stakes is High by De La Soul.
I knew you was gonna say that one.
Yeah. That's the 5 for me.
Okay.
What up, the Gemini? Who you got? What you got?
Ooh. Okay,
What's the
I'm
5
just when you
choices?
said hip hop and songs came in my head, I'm thinking they reminisce over you, the Roxy L. Smooth. I like Check the Rhyme, Tribe.
Try.
I Used to Love Her, Common. Ooh, then I get stuck on these. Oh,
It's a tough one.
New
Five
York,
out
New
of a
York,
billion.
New York, Dog Pound. and the fifth one is hard. I'm just gonna say, like you said, the list changed, but right now, what I could think of is the Blast, Reflection Eternal.
Oh yeah, that's the joint right there. Yeah.
Hey, y'all. That's oof. Okay.
I mean, hold on, pick it. I missed one of yours. You said All You Can Eat, Scenario, Busta, Stakes is High. What else? I'm
Redman,
missing one.
Tonight's the Night.
That's not yet.
That's it. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Hey, Young World. Slick Rick.
Classic.
Oh my God. All day. I hate to say it. This is like lottie dottie. Lottie dottie. Dougie Fresh, Slick Rick. Method Man. All You Need.
Mary
with
J.
Blige. Yes.
Yeah, classic.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Ready or not, here I come.
Yeah, Fugees. Yeah.
Yes, that's fire. Like just hearing that sound come in. Boy, okay. I got one more.
Yep.
One more.
I ain't gonna lie, Nas with that ether when he came through with that ether.
So that's just a kid banger. It's a banger. It's like he shut it down.
He shut it down like
That's
period.
like the
Everything on
quintess-
pause.
yeah. That's a quintessential. Like I told you not to fuck with me.
I told
you.
you. Like, I'm a god. Like, do you understand me? I'm a god. Like, period.
It's like I told you. Told you.
Period.
Lady Bounce on you.
Okay. So, honorable mention, first of all, goes to Slap by Ludacris, because on a Monday or a Friday when I'm on my way to work, I am thinking about slapping somebody today. So, I'm just saying, I work with teenagers and I work with adults who get on my nerves too. So, that's just honorable mention. Just have to put that out there. Definitely, Common, Used to Love Her. That's like my ultimate joint. I love Common Retrospect for Life because it has a deeper meaning than just the song itself. Let me see. Man, I have so many. It doesn't get talked about, but The Potion by Ludacris also, and Blueberry Yum Yum, they was all on the same album, so that was dope. I know, and I don't even smoke weed, but I like the song because in my mind I smoke and I sell drugs, but you know,
Sweet in your mind.
you know, in my mind,
I'm the biggest baller on my block.
Hey, I am indeed. But definitely I like the show Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick. That was like a classic joint for me. And anything by Heavy D. Like he could sing the phone book to me and I'm with it.
Oh my God.
Oh man. All right. So before we get out of here, got to drop a self-care assignment. Self-care
Okay.
assignment is. Did I do this last week? Go digging. No, that wasn't
Yeah,
it.
that
Yeah,
was last week.
that was late. Yeah, I said go digging. So this week, no, it wasn't. Last week was promote something. Post something that you like.
Okay.
Wasn't it? I'm not sure. Anyway, no, let's go dig it. Return to the record store. Even if I said it last week, it still continues in honor of Hip Hop History Month. Go to the record store. If you in Dayton, go down to Omega Music and just, even if you don't buy anything, just go get that feeling back that when you used to go to the record store and finger through the albums and the tapes and CDs. Just get that feeling back, bring it back into you so that we can continue to carry hip hop on to infinity and beyond in my Buzz Lightyear voice. Also, before we get out, if you're in the Dayton area, Cincinnati, Columbus, Toledo, all those areas, make sure you come check out DJ Lady Bounce this Friday at the Barrel House. She will be doing her tribute to hip hop through music and hip hop history. That's going to be from 8 to 12, Friday, the 18th of November. The Barrel House, our favorite watering hole.
Favorite. All right,
What else
so
you
real
got?
quick, Kuda Max said Wu-Tang, Triumph. I forgot that. That is my joint. Nas, The World Is Yours. Little Brother, Loving It.
Oh
Kanye,
man.
We Major. The Roots, Act 2, and Love of My Life.
Yeah, joints.
That was hard.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. Like you said, it always rotates. There's always going to be new music. But that's the thing that's dope about hip hop. We don't have to listen to this one song all day.
Right.
There's a plethora of music out there. And one thing that we can do to ensure that it carries on is, instead of like we get caught up arguing about how bad stuff, even though we did do a trash segment today, it was just for kicks and giggles. Stop talking about the stuff you don't like all day on Facebook, or this is so horrible. Start posting the stuff you do like. Start posting the songs you do think is dope, that you don't think that people are hearing and talking about. And like I said, get back to going to the record store. Get back to going to these small venue shows. We're always wanting to go to the big concerts, but these artists become big because you hit them when they're starting to buzz. You go to, plus I like smaller venues anyway, because it's more intimate. And I'm not a big show person like far as doing shows myself, but if I do a show, I like the smaller intimacies, crowds, you right there with the people, because that's another thing that was powerful in hip hop to me. It's like being there and actually being a part of it, even if you're not on stage. You fresh, you got on your jewelry, you got ain't nobody rocking the hat you got on, ain't nobody got the hoodie that you done custom airbrushed. You know what I'm saying? I'm a part of the show, not even being on stage. So that's why I like them small things. But so like I said, if you're in our area, come check out DJ Lady Bounce Friday at the Barrel House from 8 to 12, taking you through a journey of hip hop history. And that's our show for this week. It's your boy Picket Fence.
I'm your girl, Lady Bounce. You can find us on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you get your favorite podcast. And as always, follow us on social media. Take care of yourself and take care of one another. And we will see you next week with another live edition in our hip hop series. If you want to be on it, inbox us, hit us up, and you are welcome to join the show. Or just
tell
watch
them what next week's show is. Yeah, tell them what next week's show is. It's a big topic, big topic.
I think next week this one's gonna be major. We're talking about ageism in hip hop. What's too old? What's too young? Yeah,
it's gonna be a big one. That's a big one. That's a lot to unpack on that one. Word up. When we get up with y'all next week, continue to keep hip hop going. Peace.
Peace.